Good morning, everyone.
Hey,
Hi there.
Give people a couple more minutes.
Hello.
I will do the first of several pastings of the agenda document since Zoom doesn't show people what happened before they joined. It does make it safe to talk about everyone that's not here yet, though.
Hey, folks.
Hello, Tracy.
Hello.
All right, remember to start signing in. All right. I will start the screen share. I really wish I have one topic before all of these. Is that right, Tracy? Some announcements?
Yes.
Awesome. Let me bump everything.
Election update.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, you want to go ahead and kick us off with the exciting election updates?
Yes. Sorry, give me a sec. Okay, so as folks may or may not be aware, we are currently running TOC elections for two types of seats. So we have 4 project seats and 2 general seats. And nominations are closed for all these seats. So the project seats closed a couple of weeks ago, and the general seats closed as of yesterday. So the first thing I wanted to announce is that for the project seats, we had 4 nominations, and since we have 4 seats, these seats are uncontested. So we're not going to be holding an election, but I would like to welcome the 4 folks to take on the seats, which will be Andrea Fritoli, Oleg Nenashev, Jithin Emanuel, who rejoins the TOC, and Steve Taylor. So I'll be sending out an announcement later today, just to confirm. And yeah, we've had confirmation from the election officers that we're happy to proceed in this way. So yeah, congratulations all.
Thanks.
Yeah. Looking forward to working with other TOC members, board members, and whomever else is interested in the CDF governance.
Awesome.
And just on the, so just a reminder, the official term will be as of 1st July. But yeah, happy to start to have folks working already here. And we will be going ahead with a general election. We've had a lot of candidates come in, so we're hoping to post those to the governing board and get them voting on them over the next few weeks. So we'll keep you posted on how that goes. Okay, but yeah, unless the you folks want to say anything? Is that
Yeah,
I'll hand
I
over?
have one question about voting for CDCon. So yeah, sorry, it's not elections, but yeah, there would be also election process. And do we have enough candidates for positions at the moment?
I don't know. I'd have to ask Roxanne. She's managing that.
For me, the biggest concern was about end user nominations because they will submit later than others. According to GitHub issues, there were only few nominations. And
Yeah, I think we switched that one to a form. So I think there might be more nominations. Yeah, privately, but I'd have to check with Roxanne. And I like your tenuous link of elections and elections. So it's gone.
yeah, sorry.
That's all right. But yeah, I'll follow up with Roxanne and get an update on that.
Awesome. Well, congratulations. Anybody want to do an acceptance speech?
Thank you, everybody, for your support.
And thanks for running, and look forward to working with you more, Steve.
Sounds good.
All right, GSOC. Give that update.
Does anyone want to take that?
Yeah, good morning. Sorry.
Perfect
My
timing.
dog woke me up at 4 a.m. Then I couldn't get back to sleep, and then I slept through my alarm because that's just how life goes, right? So I'm running a little behind today. I think we got all the projects allocated. We have 6 projects accepted. We have 6, we got 6 slots. We have 6 projects accepted. I think the students are signing up. Oleg's been very active for the Jenkins projects, as one would expect. Thank you, Oleg. Looking in, I believe everybody is ready to kick off. I was going to follow up with let's see. Do we have a Spinnaker person on today? I don't know if we have. Who's on the meeting?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. All right. I was going to follow up with Spinnaker to make sure that they were engaged with the student. Beyond that, I don't know, Oleg, do you have any other things to share on the Jenkins side?
Yeah. So we had a community morning kickoff. We usually organize it as a kind of recorded video call with summary for accepted and rejected students. So this happened. We've got quite a number of questions. We also have action item to update the Jenkins documentation. We reached out to the Spinnaker team, just sent them all links related to Jenkins. They're welcome to either follow our approach or not follow. It's totally their choice. But yeah, I just shared the information we have in the Jenkins community. And currently, we still have a few action items, including sending the feedback form for students, other participants, and also sending feedback to rejected students. I'm halfway through that, but it would delete due to some other reasons unrelated to GSOC. Overall, well, we've got quite a number of projects, so there would be a retrospective, I believe. If anyone is interested to participate, please let me know. But yeah, I think that's all good, and I'm looking forward to the GSOC this year. There should be a lot of good projects, especially ones in the interoperability domain. So, Kara, for example, would be able to talk about cloud events later. But yeah, things look pretty good.
Cool, thanks, Oleg. So other than that, things kicked off. We'll have check-ins in a bit and report back.
Awesome. Thanks everyone for participating. All right, this next one, the Inclusive Naming Initiative. I'm guessing you added this one, Tracy? Is right?
No, it was actually me, but
not me.
Oh, okay.
okay. So yeah, just to share some context, yeah, in Jenkins we have quite a known issue with naming. In terms of, yeah, Jenkins was created 15 years ago. Agents used to be called slaves before. Controllers used to be called masters before, and yeah, they were gradual changes. So in 2016 we changed the agent terminology. In 2020 we changed the controller terminology. There is ongoing cleanup, and actually there is a lot of activities. We also developed some developer tools to locate misusages. For example, when you have a wrong word being used in a screenshot in your documentation and you want to discover this is probably detecting pull requests. So there is some activity happening there. And yeah, during one of the conversations on Twitter, there were CDF members reaching out and saying that, hey, there is open inclusive naming initiative. It's just started. It happens also under the umbrella of the Linux Foundation to some extent. So Priyanka Sharma and Stephen Augustus are two main co-founders. There are other co-founders. And yeah, basically this initiative is just starting. We from several contributors from the Jenkins community joined the steering meetings, joined the channels, and so far the collaboration was pretty good. And actually we are invited to join as the continuous delivery of the foundation as a participating organization. So while there is no strings attached, so we already have Jenkins project working on that. We also have interoperability SIG, which spent considerable time reviewing terminology and aligning that. So it would be natural if we use these existing activities, kind of related projects, and join the inclusive initiative as a foundation. If, of course, CDF TOC and board would be interested in that. Any opinions, feedback?
Cool. Yeah, this makes perfect sense. The logistics around how the foundation joins are why I assumed it was Tracy.
Yeah, so I think it's a great initiative, and it will be great to align like what the projects are doing, what they're doing there. Like, to me, it's not clear, like, what is there a need for an official joining? Do we not just jump on the list and start changing things, or is there, like, why is there a need to
jumped on the list? So why it's useful? Firstly, to get more publicity, because they will benefit participant organizations, funding organizations. There will be some representation at the events. So currently, Inclusive Naming Initiative are looking for the funding model, but they are looking at hundreds, thousands of dollars per year in terms of funding for marketing and other activities. And being a member of this foundation would also help to promote the goals, for example, inside the interoperability SIG for unifying terminology. Inside Jenkins, we could share experiences, we could probably facilitate some contributions through these activities. So I think that joining the foundation, the initiative explicitly would make sense, as long as we are committed to cleaning up terminology. And at least on behalf of Jenkins, I can say that we are committed to cleaning up the terminology. And I believe there are no major issues in other projects, maybe things like whitelist, blacklist, etc. But yeah, this is also something we could clean up on the interoperability SIG level, since it reviews terminology already.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't see anything official on the website. It just says sort of join the mailing list. So I can reach out and find out if there's more to it, which it might be a work in progress as well.
Yeah, they're just figuring it out. So there was a presentation last week where they reviewed the membership tiers, and yeah, there is a tier for non-profits. CDF qualifies as non-profit according to the definition.
Great.
But yeah, all this framework is yet to be established, but yeah,
Okay.
you're welcome to join.
Yeah, no, I think that makes sense. And as from an organization level, I can manage that. But I think, yeah, it does depend on the TOC being involved and making that connection down to the projects and figuring out a way we can, work on things.
TOC member, I'm happy to coordinate that.
Love it.
Yeah, that was going to be my question. Is it something the TOC would do or the board would do or the projects would do on their own behalf? But
Yeah, well, if it comes down to, agreeing the naming and making the changes, and I can tell you the board's not going to touch the code of the project.
yeah,
So
yeah.
we need that commitment from the projects themselves.
And for like the
Cool.
Ortelius project, we, in our code of conduct, we like on our Discord channel, we monitor that. And, if somebody phrases something wrong, we go ahead and just drop a hint in there to correct it. And, people do it right away as part of that. We have not seen the issue in pull requests or issues, that type of inclusive naming concerns at that level. So we've been self-monitoring.
It sounds like this is something, it's a nice kind of checkpoint thing we should revisit every sort of 6 months or a year and just sort of say what's changed over that time, just so we can keep focused on moving forward.
And well, it makes sense to coordinate it on the CDF level because, I went through GitHub of some of our member projects, Jenkins ones, and I was able to discover an inclusive terminology that I can follow up later with projects, but it's definitely something we could work on the CDF level and facilitate.
That's good.
I think so some of the Google projects have been going through this. I can't speak for all of them, obviously, because there's thousands of them, which is a whole nother discussion. But there's a lot of stuff that's getting built into and made available via GitHub. Maybe it might be good to have a little one pager for here are the easy tools to use, above and beyond this inclusive naming that people have already built out. So make it easy.
And actually, it's within the charter of inclusive naming initiative because they have multiple work streams, and one of work streams is actually tooling. There is also a work stream for marketing, work stream for open source, for inner source. But yet tooling is one of the upstreams. We already have one of Jenkins contributors participating there, Pierre, who created the tool for analyzing screenshots I mentioned before. So yeah, it's already within this initiative. So we can share experiences and benefit from what others have already done.
All right, next topic for Oleg again, Jenkins infrastructure account. So we did some billing transfers.
Yeah, so we have just finished the transfer of the Asia accounts for Jenkins. I mean, we transferred them quite a while ago, but we were still fighting with things like billing notifications, etc., to ensure that everyone is informed. By the time it should be finished on the logistics side, and we also have support from budget side, thanks to the Continuous Delivery Foundation and all its members. So the Continuous Delivery Foundation offers something like 120K per year for Asian infrastructure as a part of sponsorship. For us, we also have some infrastructure based on AWS, actually quite a lot, because AWS is sponsored at the moment by Amazon and by CloudBees. And what it means is that there is no additional cost applied, but at the same time, the current ownership, the account is firmly owned by CloudBees, which prevents us from onboarding non-CloudBees contributors there, and there will also various things with payments. So as a Jenkins project, we would like to transfer this AWS account to the Continuous Delivery Foundation so that billing and control and governance of this account happens on the foundation level. But again, it doesn't include additional costs. So this account is fully sponsored, but it would be great if ownership is transferred to the foundation.
Yeah, just a brief thing. I think I'm pretty familiar with this, having been involved on that side from CloudBees. I think it's something we just need to figure out with the LF team, and I think we have an existing CDF AWS account primarily used by Spinnaker. So it's just something we need to figure out how that will work. And Gail is not in this week, but I think she can help us just move forward on that. Just a warning, I think it will take time, and especially with CDCon coming up, but it's something we can look
totally what
into.
we expect. So we basically started things on our side. Currently, we are detaching the Jenkins account to a separate account because we had issues with sponsorship from Amazon going to other accounts because of how AWS billing works.
Yeah.
And it might be the same concern if we share accounts with Spinnaker. So it's something to be discussed, and I don't expect immediate resolution. But yeah, if there is general agreement from the TOC and from the CDF board that there is interest in transferring this account, we can initiate the discussion while we do immediate steps on the Jenkins infrastructure side.
Yeah, I say I need to ask the LF events team what it will take. So no commitments till I get a better understanding.
But yeah, would you take this action item, Tracy, just to figure out, or you need me to initiate the discussion?
No, that's fine. Yeah, just leave it with us. I'll comment on the bug.
Okay, thank you.
All right, time for something exciting, but also potentially logistically challenging, given we're in our lame duck period, to call it that, of TOC rotations. We have a new project proposal to move Shipwright to the CDF. Jason, I think you're still here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to take over screen sharing and walk us through this? And then after, I want to make sure we figure out logistics on what to do with this, given the new talk doesn't start for a little bit.
Sure. 1 second. I just closed the window I meant to share. So that's how today's going. 1 sec. Can everybody see that? Okay, I got a thumbs up. Let's do the rendered version. So Shipwright is a, I'll just sort of quickly go through the document because I mostly want to have time for questions. Shipwright is a project that started at Red Hat that has gotten a lot of contribution and input from the IBM Code Engine, the IBM Cloud Code Engine team. It's basically a OpenShift for a long time has had a feature called OpenShift builds, where you can send a build to your cluster, to your OpenShift cluster, and it'll operate that build and then give you an image, which you can then deploy and do whatever else you want with. Shipwright is sort of a reimagining of that, a modernization of that in a separate external project that is not deeply tied to OpenShift. So Red Hat started this project, and then the Code Engine team said, "Hey, we could use this. We would like to use this," and they chipped in and have done a lot of work with us to get it to the point where it is. And now we are interested in contributing it as a project to the CD Foundation if you'll have us. I haven't prepared any demos or anything, but there is a talk at CDCon that I've already recorded that goes over sort of the basics of Shipwright. I'm happy to answer any questions here or offline. I don't know whether this is the forum for Q&A, but I'm happy to answer anything you have. I also think a couple of Shipwright people, at least 2 Shipwright people, are here. Adam and Shubik, I see. In case I am unable to answer your questions, those 2 who know much more than me will be able to, hopefully.
So I'm taking a 2-second look at this. This is also, hi, Jason. Nice to see you.
Hey, how's it going?
Like the facial hair. So this is meant to be a wrapper framework, it looks like.
So yeah, it depends on Tecton. It actually offloads most of the actual work to Tecton. The way that I like to think of it is that Tecton is obviously very powerful and flexible and pipeliney and can do anything. But Shipwright does one specific thing as simply as possible, and as the highest combination of flexible and simple for that specific goal, as opposed to Tecton, which is obviously great, but can do way more and therefore is more complex. And there's plans to integrate the two together so that you don't have to choose, you know, the flexible complex one or the simple single purpose one. You can use them both together.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it looks like there's a couple dozen contributors. Are any of those external to Red Hat IBM? Is there like an external community as such yet, or is it still kind of early stages for that?
I think mainly all of the contributors are Red Hat or IBM. It is the corporate relationship between Red Hat and IBM is sort of, I'm still learning it myself, but the IBM team and the Red Hat team are, you know, distinct for all intents and purposes. So we don't like have secret cabal meetings where we discuss things and then go out to the community. We're like, I never talk to them. So
No.
except in the public.
Sorry. I think I may have asked my question incorrectly. It was more like, is there is there a current or plans for an external a community engagement? You think about Jenkins, for example, as kind of our showcase as the oldest project, the number of external community members. That's kind of a key element to a CDF project.
Yeah.
And so that's something hence my questions, like how much outreach has been done thus far, or are there plans for that? Otherwise,
Right.
That's something we could talk through.
Right. We're definitely interested in welcoming in more people. Right. I guess, sorry, also, I didn't mean to mischaracterize your question. It's also like we have these public community meetings in which anyone is welcome. It just so happens that Red Hat and IBM people tend to be the ones that show up. If anybody else showed up, we would welcome them and love to have them and you know, assign them issues and send them PRs and everything. But that's definitely part of, I think, what we are hoping, what Shipwright is hoping to get from CDF is community outreach, community building, neutral home, like really start ramping up that effort and getting more contributors from all corners.
So there's, I feel like I'm speaking a lot, so anybody else feel free to jump in here. One of the outstanding questions that we've had is sort of, and I guess I'm looking at Dan and Tracy a bit here, is incubation versus, what was the other category?
A sandbox.
Yeah. And I'm just remembering, you know, what we did with Ortelius and Spinnaker, for example, as I'm just wondering if because because I know you, Jason, I'm going to take this opportunity to nitpick a little bit procedurally, because I know that you'll take it in the spirit given. There was originally an idea that incoming projects for incubation have that community more strongly. But that was, you know, that was early discussions. I don't know how much we want to hold to that, or if we want to take this opportunity to think about incubation versus sandbox and just refining these project intros. So this is more of a governance question, I guess.
So there might be some confusion. So incubation was the lower level. We don't have a sandbox.
Was it okay?
Yeah. We've talked about the sandbox a bunch of times, but we don't actually technically have a sandbox.
Right.
We have incubation, which is kind of a broader range. So it's for things with, you know, the buddings of a community, and then graduated is for kind of full-fledged projects. So Jenkins is the only actual graduated project at this point.
Right. And Oleg will sit there feeling smug for a minute. Go ahead, Oleg. I'm teasing. It was a joke. I was just making a joke, a bad joke. So right. Like I don't have a real strong opinion on this. I'm just trying to like make sure that we're being consistent for any new project that we review.
So just from the Ortelius perspective, in terms of what we went through, we have the opposite problem that Jason is expressing, because we didn't have a big recognized company like an IBM or a Red Hat that this was, was created under. It was created under a bunch of smaller companies, and when we decided to go to apply to become part of the CD Foundation, we held back and we didn't even try until we felt we had a large enough a contributor base to bring to the CD Foundation. But at the same time, we weren't able to bring in a big name. So, it's not every open source potential is equal, I guess is what I'm trying to say. It's great to have the big names come in with some of their with the technology that they are creating. And it's also great to bring in the smaller companies who are innovating across multiple companies. It's kind of like the difference between Backstage and Deploy Hub, right? Backstage and Deploy Hub are kind of similar products. Backstage was created by Spotify and is I think a sandbox in the CNCF. We had 100 plus people in our community with about 20 contributors, and that was the point in time that I felt confident to bring it to the TOC. But I think if I was a bigger company like Jason, I might be saying, hey, this is something that this big company is creating, and it creates the volume. So I don't know. I just want to say that not everybody's equal.
Yeah, I totally hear what you're saying. I think there's, maybe Dan remembers this conversation better than I do, but I do remember having a conversation about making sure that if you have like a small group of heroic fighters, producing their open source project, and the bigger company is like, yeah, that's nice, but we don't care that much. What we don't want is for that project to basically get orphaned because the big company isn't investing the value. Now, I am not saying that this is the case for Red Hat IBM at all. In fact, I suspect it's quite the opposite. But it's something I just want to make sure that we're mindful of, and that's hence the community question. How much ongoing investment is being committed from that large company, say, like, for example, Verizon Media, as opposed to this just kind of being a dumping ground and we inherit a project that's not going to get a lot of love, right? So again, not to pick on Jason and the Shipwright team, but I do think it's important that we're consistent in this, because we don't bring on a lot of new projects. I just want to make sure we're doing due diligence on them.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, if you have concerns, I would love to allay those concerns. I don't know if there are any specific concerns for Shipwright, or if this is just just a general. We should make sure to prioritize this for all projects, including this one. Yeah.
Well, like I said, in previous discussions, one of the first things that was asked, I think Spinnaker was the last time we had that particular conversation, is how many external contributors, and what's the plans for that? And I think that, I'm looking at Kara a little bit here, because are you still Outreach Committee? No, you switched. Somebody else is Outreach Committee now. I can't remember.
I'm not on the Outreach Committee.
Right, you're not on the Outreach. I'm mistaking you for.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, we should have a plan, I think, as part of the proposal for broadening the engagement, because we want to make sure that we're developing that community beyond Red Hat, right? Red Hat IBM.
Yeah, absolutely. That is definitely one of the things we also want to get out of this, relationship and partnership is symbiosis toward the goal of increasing the, community around this thing.
Yeah, and Jason and Tara, if I may quickly add, I'm Shobik Bones. I was one of the first committers of the Shipwright project. So a quick history on this would actually, help us kind of think in that direction. So when we started out, we had this project under Red Hat Developer, and then we were innovating on that, and then some folks from IBM came and said, hey, we want to contribute to this because we want to use this as well. I said, awesome. And then that's when we thought we should not be making exceptions because IBM reached out to us. If we had to onboard new folks into the project, it should be done as if they are just another member in the community who's willing to contribute. And that's when we created the Shipwright community, the organization, and the rules around it, so that the functioning of the project should not be any different than one would function if it was a Red Hat and XYZ instead of IBM. So from that perspective, we are moving in that direction where even though Red Hat started the project, any other contributor who joins in, be it IBM or not, is just another contributor, and we would have the community practices set up accordingly.
Yeah, thanks, Shubik. I think that's really useful context. It's IBM had to come in the front door. Like Red Hat had to build a front door for IBM to come into, which was a good investment because now it means there's a front door for anybody else to come into. So, yeah.
Sorry, yeah, I got disconnected for a moment, but I found the actual wording in our project lifecycle. It says on this exact topic, but for graduated stage, we require a healthy number of committers from at least 2 organizations. So that's for the graduated stage. We don't state any actual numbers for the incubating stage. We do say it's up to the TOC's discretion, and they're supposed to demonstrate a substantial ongoing flow of commits. So no actual numbers on organizations at this stage. So. Cool. All right, so everybody review this, take your time on the talk. What I now kind of want to talk about is tying this back up to the election update, which Tracy said before, which is that we have a new TOC that's been elected but doesn't start for a little bit. So I don't know the best answer on how to do this logistically. The new TOC, you said it starts July 1st, Tracy?
That's right.
Yeah, so it's taken us on the order of 2 TOC meetings, so about 4 weeks anyway to review and approve these. So that kind of puts us right at that timeline. I think it would feel kind of weird for the existing TOC to approve something a week before the new TOC starts. It's also weird to tell Jason to sit and wait and potentially revisit this decision again in a little over a month. Any thoughts here?
We have.
Oh, it also needs this. Oh, sorry, Oleg, go ahead.
I just wanted to say that we have many new TOC members here, so they can still put their non-binding votes. And if these non-binding votes are aligned with binding ones, there is no problem.
Right.
In my opinion.
It also needs a TOC sponsor who. Is there anybody that's overlapping?
There are a few overlapping, and I guess we don't know the full range yet because the other election is just starting. And I guess, yeah, the same thing would apply. Would it make sense for a sponsor that's no longer on the TOC in 3 days?
Right.
I guess I kind of like your proposal, Oleg. Just kind of let the new TOC members handle this non-binding, and then those non-bindings just automatically become bindings on July 1st, and we go from there. I kind of doubt we're going to get this wrapped up and approved before then anyway, especially given that the current TOC members are likely to be even less active now that their terms are up. So let the new people drive this in an unofficial way until the terms start.
Yeah, if you're able to get votes from the old TOC and the new TOC and to see where the numbers fall, I can't imagine it being a surprise. So I think that would be the easy way to just cover the bases.
Cool, and I'll kind of send this out to the TOC and invite all the new people to start participating as if they're ready to go and kind of drive this one.
Thanks. To ensure that all incoming TOC members are added to the mailing list, because it's public anyway, but at least we can ensure that they receive the messages.
Perfect. Yeah, is that automated, Tracy? Are they already on there, or do we have to get them added?
Yeah, no, I think folks have to sign up.
Yep. So I signed up on my own, and I receive all TOC messages. I guess everyone can do the same, but it makes sense to send a message to whomever is elected so that they joined.
Cool. All right. Oh, whoops! I have to take screen share back. Just realized I hadn't taken it back from Jason. All right, a couple other things. Configuration as code SIG.
Yeah.
And then CDCon updates. Go for it.
Yeah, so in Jenkins, we have a Jenkins configuration as code some project. We are not exactly happy about the current structure because the area moved way beyond a particular plugin. We also have plugin installation manager as code. We have official Docker configurations, Helm charts. We have configuration management tool integrations like Ansible, which are being moved under the Jenkins project umbrella. So what we are thinking is converting the JCask subproject to actually a configuration as code special interest group, which would include all the matters in Jenkins. But yeah, there is an open question whether it makes sense to do on the Jenkins level or whether it makes sense to do it on the CDF level so that the same practices, policies could be applied to all projects. So it's a rather question to TOC and other participants whether there is interest to having it on the CDF level. But yeah, wanted to get your feedback.
What would the, sorry, go ahead, Dan.
I was just going to say, anybody else interested in this topic here or know anyone else that might be outside of this meeting?
There's some work going on in this in Tecton land as well. I think we could probably loop some Tecton folks in.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. I was thinking first just Shipwright and then probably through Tecton. One could imagine Spinnaker and probably Screwdriver might have some thoughts here. I don't know if we've got any reps. Didn't look like it, but I guess would be interesting to sort of see the scope of this. There's a lot of different configurations one could be talking about. So I guess it's what's the desired outcome on this? You think something between like a go old school a little bit, like Jenkins builder configurations. You spin up your new master is a very different mechanism than having like a declarative state Kubernetes style.
Well, it's if you talk about CDF level, it would be rather about promoting best practices. For example, promoting declarative definitions, promoting practices like GitOps, etc. I believe all of that could fall into this domain. Again, configuration as code seek is rather a working name. It can be changed. But yeah, the main question is whether there is enough topics on a high level to have this special interest group on the CDF. Because everything is about configuration as code at the moment. At the same time, whether there is something to be discussed in a shared seek and whether the projects could benefit from that.
Yeah, I can't help but wonder if this could be an element of the best practices SIG, for example. Yeah, could go either way. So it might be worth. There's
and it also and it also overlaps with the GitOps group on the CNCF side.
Oh, there's a okay. Is there a one pager or notes or something, Oleg? Or is this just still kind of people kicking around ideas?
No, it's so question to the CDF. There is no one pager for that because I just brought up whether there would be interest so that we can discuss.
Okay. So it wasn't that something had started to get going in Jenkins and they're like, yeah, maybe we should talk one level up.
Yeah, so in Jenkins it was a topic for a long time because basically our Jenkins configuration as code project, it has stabilized on its own. So there are not that many activities beyond maintenance happening right now there. So we wanted to increase the scope in order to attract more contributors and to revitalize the discussions. But yeah, it's what we are doing on the Jenkins side. But if there is an interest on the CDF level, I think that we should collaborate and see how these activities could be organized together. And if there is no interest, it's also not a problem because yeah, the idea of having it a part of best practice seek makes total sense. So
yeah, the next meeting is next Monday. Might be worth a topic discussion there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure Terry will have thoughts. Terry always has good thoughts.
Anything you want to add now, Terry? You're here, or just wait?
No,
I'm
need to
sorry,
do
Terry.
some
Didn't mean to
sort
put you on the spot.
All right, last couple updates. The CDF track at DevOps World proposals are due in 2 days, the 27th.
Yep. So if folks have sessions, we've got 15 slots that we can fill. I've got 9 submissions so far, so we definitely just need a little bit more diversity. We've got a lot of males, so we need some more female speakers to apply if possible, and a few more folks of people of color. So yes, please submit your talk so I can review it with Alyssa from CloudBees. And then the next update we have is the keynote announcement for CDCon is now available. So I've included the link to the blog that gives an overview of the sessions. So take a look at that. And then registration wise, I mean, we're 29 days from going live with this event. We have 443 folks signed up for the Jenkins Contributor Summit. We've got 1,200 folks for GitOps Summit, 825 for Spinnaker Summit, and 2,548 for CDCon.
Wow.
Yeah, great numbers.
So yeah, one month left, and yeah. Oh, and then the other really cool thing is, so we've been also doing some fundraising on behalf of 3 organizations. So Sheet Code Africa, Women Who Code, and Black Girls Code. So last week we had Nicole donate $1,000 to that. So we are now at $2,270 in regards to fundraising.
Congratulations.
One related
I was
topic.
there when she did the donation. It was awesome. She's like frantically tapping on her phone. Done. Like, all right, way to show us all up.
Yep. So one related topic, on June 25th, we will have a Jenkins Contributor Summit, as Jacqueline said. And as a part of this summit, we want to cover interoperability topics. So we already had some discussions with Tecton project about having Tecton participants there, but other projects are also invited because in Jenkins, we want to integrate with all CI, CD, and other automation tools. And it could be directional integrations. So, for example, you can invoke Jenkins from Tecton, you can invoke Tecton from Jenkins, like it was posted. Same applies to all other tools. Spinnaker, Jenkins X already use Jenkins as one of pipeline engines under the hood. Yeah, and so if you have any interest, please join us. They will be on conference, or if you have particular topics, there is a Google Doc where you can suggest topics. I can share the link later. So just let us know what would be your interest, and I will be happy to help with organizing that. I'm driving the Contributor Summit this well, next month. So anyone is welcome. Any SIG, any project.
Awesome. All right. And I guess, wait, we have 2 DevOps World topics here. Is this the same or different?
Me recorded that because in addition to the CDF track, to which you should definitely apply, there is also a community track, and actually a wide community agenda, including workshops, Ask the Experts booths. We also plan to have a contributor summit there, maybe for Jenkins, maybe for all CDF projects, yet to be decided. So if you're interested to participate in a wider scope at the DevOps World, please let me know, and I will be happy to help. So at the moment, we rather focus on Jenkins agenda. You can go to the link. You can see a lot of fancy slides, a lot of photos of face-to-face events. I'm missing so much, but yeah, this year we want to do the same online. And again, all projects are welcome. DevOps World is no longer about Jenkins on there. So it started as Jenkins World, but now Jenkins is something like 20 to 30% of its agenda. and all other CDF projects are welcome to apply to the community track. They are welcome to join our joint activities like Ask the Experts booth, and we will definitely welcome them. Okay, that's all.
All right. That covers it for today. Welcome to all the new TOC members. Look forward to getting Jason's proposal reviewed and have fun with these upcoming events. Stay safe, everybody.
Dan, you're gonna send out the call for vote.
Well,
Okay.
initially call for feedback.
Right.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yep.
We will look for your emails.
All right. Thanks.
Thanks all.
See you, everyone.